Hey y'all, welcome back to Math Rescue. I'm Andre, your certified math coach. In this video, we're diving into polynomials, what they are, how to describe them, and how to predict what they'll do at the ends. I'll define the key vocabulary you need to sound confident when talking about polynomial functions. Then I'll show you how to use an end behavior chart to read graphs like a pro. It's simpler than it sounds, and once you learn the pattern, it sticks. Let's talk about it. So over here on the right hand side, I have my end behavior chart. There might be a lot of stuff that happens here in the middle of these polynomials. Right now, we're not concerned about all of that. We just care about the ends. The ends tend to throw themselves towards an infinity, whether they're going down perpetually or they're going up perpetually. So this idea of end behavior, whether it's going up for forever or down forever, becomes a really big idea that we ask a lot of questions about. All of that is based on two things. It's based on the leading coefficient of the polynomial, as well as the degree of the polynomial. Let's talk about what those two phrases refer to. So the leading coefficient is going to be the coefficient on the biggest degree term, and the degree is the exponent on the biggest degree term. So in this case, the first sentence here says the leading coefficient of f of x is 2, which is positive. The degree is 3, which is odd. And so positive and odd, that puts me in this case here. So because the leading coefficient is positive and the degree is odd, we can go ahead and start describing our end behavior. You're going to see this notation here, the x with the arrows and infinity symbols. Let's talk about what that means. So this first symbol here is saying as x approaches negative infinity. Negative infinity is on the left side of the graph. So in other words, what they're saying is what's happening on the left side of the graph when we graph this polynomial. That is referring to this piece of the chart here. Notice how it's going downwards. What we want to do is we want to record what's happening to the y value. So as x goes to the left, y is going down. So in other words, I could say y is going to negative infinity. All right, we're going to do the same thing for the other piece. So here we have x approaching positive infinity. So in other words, we're talking about the right-hand side of the graph. The right-hand side of the graph is going to be represented by this arrow here. Notice how in this case it's going upwards. So on the right-hand side of the graph, as x goes to infinity, my y value is going all the way up for forever. So my y value is going to. Last but not least, we're going to talk about the domain of polynomials. You can remember this. All polynomials can take any input. So when we talk about the domain, we can say all real numbers would work as inputs into our polynomials. If you want to represent that using interval notation, we could say from negative infinity to infinity. I'm Andre, a certified math coach. See you next time.